Contract killers paid $100,000 to murder cop and his family. Members of the notorious St. James-based Kettering Defense Force gang (KDF) gang was contracted for $100,000 to kill a policeman and members of his family, police investigators stated. The probe is continuing and the police are awaiting scientific analysis. However, they provided the public with an update on the matter on Friday evening. Last Saturday, the policeman and his family came under deadly attack, which took place about 8:35 p.m. in the vicinity of the Elevate nightclub and lounge in Reading, St. James. The policeman's spouse died in the incident, which has garnered national attention. The deceased woman, who suffered multiple gunshot wounds, was identified as 36-year-old Latoya Crystal Stevenson, a human relations manager of Montego Bay West Village. The injured policeman, whose identity was not released, the police official report of the incident, is reportedly attached to the Year 1 Lottery Scam Task Force. Reports are that the child who suffered bullet wounds to his head and the policeman who suffered gunshot wounds to the upper body were both admitted to a medical facility with life-threatening injuries. The High Command said it bemoaned the fact that the little value is placed on human life by criminals, as well as the price some people are willing to pay to eliminate another entire family. Meanwhile, a woman suspected of being the mastermind behind the ambush was held at a guest house in Hanover on Wednesday and taken into police custody. Reporters also understand that another of the suspect attacker, Orlando Ninja Thomas, was fatally shot in South Spring, St. James on Wednesday. This brings to 3 the number of suspects killed by the police since the incident. On Tuesday, Andre Reed was fatally shot in Shooters Hill about 4:30 a.m., while Lindell Gill, otherwise called Frost, was shot and killed during an alleged confrontation in Anchovy Police area about 1 a.m. on Monday. The JCF said formal charges are to be laid shortly. CSEC reports increase in irregularities in this year's exams. There was an increase in irregularities in the May-June sitting of the Caribbean Examination Council exams. Director of Operations at the CSEC, Dr. Nicole Mannings, says there was an all-time high of 80 irregularities, 23 for Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Exam (CAPE) and 57 for Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate (CSEC) examinations. Dr. Mannings says CSEC has widened the items categorized as unauthorized devices, which should not be taken into the exams. For CSEC, the irregularities are broken down to 39 unauthorized devices, 4 unruly conduct, 1 misuse of materials, 8 collisions, 3 unauthorized material, and 2 malpractice. While for CAPE, the 23 irregularities are broken down to 13 unauthorized devices, 1 unruly conduct, 1 misuse of materials, and 8 collisions. Dr. Manning is urging education ministries, parents, and students to address irregularities issues. She adds that these are questionable matters being investigated.
And it's important to note that this year we saw an all-time high of 80 irregularities. Not good. Not good. It therefore means that these candidates of the 80 may have different penalties. Majority of these candidates, over 40-50% of them, would have their results cancelled. So it means that they are found in the exam with a cell phone. For example, I'm just using an example. It means that that candidate's result is cancelled. We beg, we plead, we say, do not take it in the exam. You also have situations where candidates use the cell phones. They'll tell you that I didn't remember the answer, so I Googled it. And so those candidates, the results for them are not only cancelled, but it affects their other subjects. In fact, they're disqualified. We're seeing now where the smart watches are becoming a part of the process. It's no longer just the phone. And we do know and are conscious that other aspects will come into play eventually, like the glasses and so on. And so with that consciousness, we have changed it from cell phones to unauthorized devices, widening the gap of what is not required for the exams. We saw other issues in terms of unruly conduct, misuse of material, collusion was a big one this year. If you notice the jump from collusion for CSEC from 1 to 8. that means we are cheating, right? We're working together where candidates drop the paper on the ground and the person next door knows they must pick it up and so on and so forth. These are just examples of what unfortunately happens in the exams. For the CAPE, likewise, we saw an increase in the use of unauthorized device, but CAPE was not as much, similar a movement in terms of the cheating, but it was not as much. It is something we're encouraging the ministries of education to work with our students, parents. Please, they should not even have the cell phone on them. You know, we beg and plead every year, but it is something that's important. I cannot end this component of my presentation without encouraging the ethical use and the whole notion of integrity as you engage in the process. We do have some questionable situations that we're investigating, situations where you see candidates with the same mistakes on an exam. That tells you that something happened, correct? So these are things that we are still investigating. So when candidates do not see grades, please do not be surprised because the notification is sent to our local registrars and they will be aware to let you know.
JTA walks out of wage talks, demands improved offer by Sunday. The negotiating team for the Jamaica Teachers Association JTA walked out of a talk with Finance Minister Favor Williams and her team on Friday after giving the government a deadline of midnight on Sunday to present a substantially improved salary offer, a top union official has revealed. The JTA is the union that represents public sector teachers. We told the minister and her team that they have until midnight Sunday, August 17, to put a substantially improved offer on the table. Failing that, all options are on the table, JTA President-elect Marks told reporters. A statement from the JTA on Friday went further, indicating that the association reserved the right to activate all its machinery to respond if there is no improved wage offer by Sunday's deadline. The JTA wishes to indicate that the nation teachers deserve a more livable wage and a better response than what has been placed on the table for negotiations, this statement noted. Public sector teachers have been without a wage deal since March 31st this year when the previous agreement expired. A new wage pact was expected to take effect on April 1. Negotiations for the new agreement began last November when the JTA submitted its proposal for a 2-year agreement to the Minister of Finance. It reported that the ministry countered for 4 years offer to 0% in year 1, 2.5% in each year remaining. That offer was rejected, and Mark said the JTA team attended Friday's meeting in good faith, expecting that a substantially improved offer would have been placed on the table based on the last discussion. That did not materialize, he stated. The JTA statement said a 0% offer in any of the year is untenable, an indication that the government's proposal had not changed. We indicated to the minister that we are very disappointed, Mark told reporters. To subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.